Shalom, Yasha'Allah, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High Yahweh. I do so in the name of His only begotten Son, Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Yasha'Allah. Call Aloyam La Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Harakak Wadash, for blessing our elders with the spirit of truth so that we may know. Shout out to the Akim and the Akwaf that's keeping the faith and the work. Y'all keep at it. It's your brother Abaya coming at you with more quoted precepts. Scripture tells us to walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise, redeeming the time. We have to understand the times that we living in, man. As far as, us getting spiritually prepared for what the Lord said would have to happen, it's something that may be hard to grasp, in the current state of being, but it's something that need to be grasped, man. Scripture tells us it's going to get pretty bad, and you can prepare your mind mentally for it. You can prepare your spirit for it up until a certain point because you're just reading about it, and you get it in your spirit that it's going to get bad. But when you actually in the midst of bad, that's different. And it's the same as if you're struggling. You go through an oppressive. We all have our highs and lows in this walk of ours. And when it seems like everything good, of course you can speak about the down, like what you need to do. Right? When you're down, call on the Lord, look to the Lord, stay steadfast. Keep the faith. Stay straight, don't waver in faith. It's easier said when it's good, but when it's down, it's different. Like those words carry a whole nother meaning when you're down. All right, so it's the same thing. Right now, I'm not gonna say we're in a peaceful state, but we able to come and go pretty much as we please, and eat every day, however many times a day you want to eat or are able to eat. All right, but Scripture tells us there's gonna come a point to where those luxuries are going to be taken away, and food will be scarce. And the only way you really will be able to eat, more so speaking toward the righteous, is the Lord provides for you. But as far as the wicked goes, they're going to eat too. But it may not, it ain't going to be no righteous food because they wasn't eating righteously, before the chaos. So how much more when all hell, break loose? We see it in different films and things of such where, you have like the book of Eli, how they made him, hold his hand up to make sure it wasn't shaking, and that showed that Eli wasn't accountable. It's gonna get to a time to where there's gonna be a thing. People gonna be eating people, and it ain't like that's like a brand new concept on the earth. That's something that has been a thing in history, including in our history, in Yasha'Allah's history. That's what Deuteronomy chapter 28 and I want to say 54. Where it speaks about the curse of fatherless homes and mothers leaving their kids, but it says for lack of bread. That was a prophecy about the siege of 70 AD, where Roman soldiers surrounded Jerusalem and wouldn't allow food to come in. They cut off water sources and the whole nine. And a lot of our people turned to cannibalism. They were eating the kids. They were eating their young. Right? So if Scripture tells us in the book of Daniel chapter 12 that there'll be a time such as never was since there was a nation, then that's included. Along with, just murder all around. These are things that the Lord is telling us to prepare for. But like I said, it's harder. It's easy to mentally, prep for it now because, we're not in it. All right, so And that's also why Scripture tells us knowledge and wisdom shall be the stability of thy times. You're going to have to know the precepts to be able to rely on the word to bring you stability in a chaotic time where you don't know where your meal coming from. You know, you can't just go to the store. You know, you may not be able to just sit at the house. You may be moving abroad. Scripture tells us, you know, we'll have to move as pilgrims. So I'm just here to, you know, exhort you to really, I don't even know if you can. That's something that the Lord got to put in you. You know, the faith to hold on to Scripture, right, that pertains to certain emotional states you may be in. Like, one of my favorite precepts is Psalms 27:1. I want to say Psalms 27:1, right? Yahweh is my light and my salvation, of whom shall I fear? Yahweh is the strength of my life, of whom shall I be afraid? And I can recall in times where I was going into situations where I wouldn't, how can I put this? I wasn't overly excited about the situation, and I wasn't confident in myself about the situation. Basically, I was afraid of the situation that I was about to go into. But me having that precept in my spirit and being able to recite that precept and being able to understand that the Lord is dealing with me, it allowed me, and you know, in several instances, to push through situations because I understood. Though this situation may be, you know, something that I see as a strong situation that I may personally not be able to push through, I know the Lord is my strength, and the Lord is the creator of all things, good and bad. There is no power stronger than Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shah. So it gives me that extra oomph that I need to calm down about the situation first and foremost, because I understand it's in the Lord's hands, and go through it. So if you don't have that mindset, like right now, like it says in Proverbs 8:17, you know, those that seek me early shall find me. I love those that love me, and those that seek me early shall find me. If you don't have that love for the Lord now, to have His word in you now, right? Your mindset is on somewhere. When that time comes, then I'll have my Bible with me, and you may not have the scriptures with you, man. That's the thing. Ain't no telling how your part of the earth is gonna be. You may not even have the people that's in your household with you, man, when all hell break loose. So you need to have the Lord by your side, right? Like Scripture says, the angels of the Lord encamp round about those that fear Him. You need to be fearing the Lord right now. You know, so, but as far as the elect goes, you know, that's already set in stone to make it through, to have that faith, and, you know, the whole nine. But the thing with that is we don't know. We are hoping, I'm hoping to be a member of the elect. I know you are too if you're hearing this, and you can understand what I'm saying. We hoping to be members of the elect. And I got a strong hope to the point to where it's strong. I'll leave it at that. it's a strong hope, because the Lord has showed me way too many times that He's dealing with me, man. I'm talking about way too many times. Even before I came into this truth, when I was operating in that world, how the world just didn't suit me, and I just didn't fit in with the world. You know what I mean? They got a saying in the streets called green. So you green if you're not cutthroat like everybody else. If you don't operate how everybody else operate, then they call you green. Right? You got a good heart, they call you green. You know, and I can recall in certain instances where I said before the truth, it would be situations that I couldn't see me doing because it wasn't in my heart to do. But the individuals that were around me would call me green about certain situations because it just wasn't in me to do. All right? So in my heart of hearts, I believe that Yahweh got me on this earth to do exactly what I'm doing for his name's sake. And it's a strong faith, right? And I say, if you're hearing this, you're going to understand what I'm saying. I pray Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai gives you the same, or more rather, faith in him and his word, especially for the times to come, because you're going to need it, man. You're going to need it. You're going to need that word. Whatever that word is that gets you from, through day-to-day situations or through extremely tense situations, you're going to need that in the times to come. Because it's going to be the thing to keep you stable. And it's also going to be the thing that brings you to salvation. So, Yasharallah, we got to prep up, spiritually, more so than anything. Am I saying, don't, if the Lord put it on your spirit to go, you go grocery shopping, you get a couple extra cans or whatever, I'm not saying that's wrong at all, but make sure that your spirit is right for the times to come, because the days are evil. So I end with that. Yashala, with that I say, call Haloyam La Yahweh Ba Hashem Yahweh Shai Ba Hashem Harakakodash Shalom.